Kyle Larson wins, how he stacks up now on the all-time list. Ryan Blaney blows another engine. Is it cause for concern? And we got another great race at Homestead, so we're going to talk about that as well, too. So let's get into it. Coming up next. What's going on, everybody? Hope you're doing good today. All right, Kyle Larson wins at Homestead. I know, surprise, 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 that you are surprised to hear that. Did that really make sense? Probably not. Anyway, he wins the race at Homestead, one of his better tracks by far, but it is win number 30 for him, and that puts him on the all-time wins list at number 30. Win number 30 puts you at win number 30. But he was already at the 30th spot on the wins list. So let's take a look at the names that he is now chasing down who are just in front of him, because now you're starting to get into that rarefied air, that Hall of Fame territory of people he's now passing on the wins list. Or I should say, will be passing on the wins list. 2 wins away from tying and 3 wins away from passing Dale Jarrett, the 2-time NASCAR Cup Series champion, multiple-time Daytona 500 champion. He is going to be the next one on the list that Kyle Larson is aiming for. 3 wins away from tying Fireball Roberts. Fireball Roberts, of course, one of the biggest names in auto racing in his era. Akin to sort of what a Dale Jr., Richard Petty, Dale Earnhardt Sr. would have been back in his day. He was that big name. Obviously, he left too soon, so he wasn't able to get a long run into it like some people would. And then 4 wins behind Martin Truex Jr. and Kurt Busch, which is very interesting that such recent names, and he's already starting to catch them on the list. And there is a reason for that, because if you look at Kyle Larson's Chip Ganassi racing career, so if you look at Kyle Larson's career with Chip Ganassi Racing, 7 seasons, he got 6 wins. For most people, that would be not too bad. You're kind of almost averaging a win per season right there. However, once you look at his results with Hendrick, when he went over to Hendrick Motorsports, they are a staggering contrast to where he was with CGR. Because in just 5 seasons at Hendrick, he now has 23 wins and a championship. So just the comparison of those two is staggering. So if he continues on this pace, he is going to continue to move up that list and go higher and higher on that particular deal. And he's obviously already going to be a first ballot Hall of Famer, in my opinion. One of the best to do it right now. But he didn't win this race without having to pass some cars, and 2 of the cars that he had to pass are going to be in that top 10. So let's talk about the top 10 real quick. Hendrick teammate Alex Bowman finishing in 2nd place. Larson had to get around him, and Bowman put up a valiant effort. He had more of a short-run car, whereas Larson had more of the long-run car, and of course, this being Larson's better track. But Bowman did very well until he touched the wall there, and once he touched the wall, Larson was able to get around him pretty easy. Bubba Wallace also had a good run here today, led some laps. He definitely had a short-run car. The longer the run went on, the more his car faded. But a 3rd-place finish, not bad at all for the Columbia Sportswear Camry. Then you got Chase Briscoe and Denny Hamlin, both who had decent cars, but not really race-winning speed at any point in the race, getting 2 solid finishes there. Chris Buescher in the 6th place there for 4 there. A.J. Allmendinger, nice run for him. Really good track for A.J. Allmendinger. Best average finish, I think, with this generation of car. Gets the 7th place for Colleague. Good turnaround season for Colleague as well. Tyler Reddick, a man who you thought was going to be contending for the win. Not a bad run, 8th place. But definitely one of the guys you expected to see in the top 5 challenging for the win, especially when his teammate, not necessarily Bubba's strongest track, one of Tyler's strongest tracks, finishes in 3rd. So you were expecting to see Tyler up there, but he was not. But like I said, 8th place finish, not bad at all. Ryan Preece, another top 10, 2 top 10s in a row for Preece. And then Justin Haley rounding out your top 10. Shane Smith, William Byron, Austin Dillon, Joey Logano, and Eric Jones going to round out your top 15. Good run for Eric Jones there with Legacy. Legacy, another team that has turned their season around. And that's definitely going to be my good race there. Legacy and also Austin Dillon with Justin Alexander doing what Austin Dillon normally does when he finishes races. Don't hear about him all day. Then at the very end, he's in the top 15 somewhere. That's kind of those 2 guys' MO as far as these type of deals go. One name I didn't mention there was Ryan Blaney. Ryan Blaney had the fastest car by far. Penske brought another great piece to Homestead, Miami, and they don't have anything to show for it because Ryan Blaney's engine expired. In fact, if you look at Milton's results here, he had Ryan Blaney with an 9.0 as his driver rating. Blaney was untouchable in the first two stages, leaving huge gaps between himself and second place. He had bad pit stop strategy in stage 3 and ran third when his engine blew up. Verdict, great drive, cruelly denied by poor reliability. And not only is it just cruel because he had the best car here, it is the second blown engine for the 12 team, and that's going to lead to a lot of questions over there at Penske. Is it a parts issue over there at Penske? We've seen certain teams, sometimes when they have this many engine failures, a la Joe Gibbs Racing last year, when they had a few go bad, is it a parts deal? Did they get a bad batch of parts? Is that what's going on? Or are they simply, is the engine tuner for the 12 car simply over-tuning it, trying to get the maximum amount out of it? All kinds of questions linger. We don't have any data, so it's all going to be speculation from our end. But it is, if you're a Ryan Blaney number 12 Penske fan, it's definitely got to be very concerning this early on in the season to have 2 DNFs. And every other race, you've got basically race-winning speed. So is it going to be one of those type of years where it's just up and down? Of course, it doesn't matter with the playoffs. I wouldn't be too concerned. You know, Penske's got it going on in the playoffs, so get these early hiccups out of the way, and I'm sure that they will figure it out. Now on to Milton's worst for the race, and that's going to be Shane Van Gisbergen at a 2.0, started 35th, finished 32nd. SVG was one of the slowest all weekend and never showed any signs of progress either. With an average running position of 32nd, the race was quite a slog for SVG. Verdict, a slow, stagnant weekend. But if you look at the running order here, his teammate Ross Chastain just in front of him. So I'm going to say bad day for Trackhouse because they just didn't have any speed today. Suarez was having a halfway decent run until he spun on pit road. He ended up 22nd, so 22nd, your best finish for Trackhouse, but none of those cars looked like they had any type of speed. It has been a hit or miss. I talked about Ryan Blaney's being hit or miss. It has been a hit or miss season for Trackhouse thus far. They either look like world beaters or they look like they're just totally out of the racetrack, no grip at all. So it's just got to be sort of concerning that there's no consistency there at Trackhouse. And just going to throw this out here too, they've lost a lot of key people. They've put some other people in place, but Ty Norris leaving and now Pitbull leaving. Are there fractures going on within Trackhouse? That's a fair question to ask. I don't think that there are, and I don't think that there's anything to that. But it is a fair question to ask at the end of the day. Is there something going on at the top level of Trackhouse, and is it going to start to trickle down? You never know, but it's and like I said, I don't think it is, but it's a fair question to ask. But not a great race for him for sure on this one. Just no speed at all for those cars today. 25th for Ty Gibbs. A lot of people talking about Ty Gibbs having a bad season. Is he in trouble? All this other stuff. Is he in a slump? He's definitely in a slump, but I wouldn't say I'm going to be super concerned about Ty Gibbs. However, I would be concerned if I'm Ty Gibbs' crew chief, if I'm working on the 54 car. If you're one of those guys, you definitely have to be concerned because you know that you're going to get replaced long before the driver gets replaced. But another bad effort there for the 54 team. Qualified 13th. Ends up finishing 25th. So at some point, they're going to have to go and figure it out. Whatever is going on over there, they're going to have to get it straightened up. So that was a good race. That was the bad race, and we got the winner. But let's talk about the actual racing on the racetrack because, once again, Homestead provided us a great finish. There wasn't a caution that ruined it. And what Homestead provides is comers and goers. You saw cars that would take off and have good speed, and if you caught a caution or something like that, maybe you would cycle out and be better off there. And then you saw cars that had the long run speed, like the 5 car. If a caution had come out, it probably would have messed him up, but it didn't come out, and he was able to chase down those cars and get the victory. And that's what's great about Homestead Miami. It's also what's great about Darlington. Darlington basically usually provides the same type of finish. You've got one car coming, you got one car fading, and you got one car chasing, and it makes for really great finishes at the ends of these races. So I know a lot of people want to go like do what Atlanta did, like make all the 1.5s like Atlanta, get maximum, super speedway races and stuff like that. But I think we should also take a look at tracks like a Darlington, tracks like a Homestead Miami, where you have great racing that doesn't need to be propped up with any gimmicks or anything like that. So I think overall, to the start of this season, we've had a lot of great races, and with Martinsville next up on the docket, hopefully they can keep the momentum going of all the great races we've had to start off the season. We've really been spoiled, to be totally honest. All right, that's all I got for you on this one. If you made it this far, I would love to have your subscription. If not, I'll just keep making these things. If you're already subscribed, I appreciate you all as well, and enjoy the rest of your Monday. Peace.